This is one of the big business news of your world today, as my colleague Andrew Schmertz joined me now from New York. Good afternoon, Andrew. Welcome to the show. We'll talk about our Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is speaking in front of the Congress today, tomorrow. What is he saying about the emergency loan program, which is set to expire, and the request for additional pay package and the overall economy, of course, which Joe Biden, the president-elect, has been unveiling members of his team this afternoon?
Yeah, so there's a big new push for a stimulus deal on Capitol Hill. Jerome Powell, the U.S. federal chair, and the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, testifying in front of the Senate. Powell says that the economy remains very challenging, and he is urging continuation of a number of Fed loan programs that are used to backstop private lenders in giving credit to businesses. Those loan programs are set to expire on January 1st. Mnuchin is the one who set in motion the expiration of those programs. He says only Congress can reauthorize them. To that end, a bipartisan group of congressmen and senators are now pushing a $900 billion stimulus plan. That would include $288 billion for new payroll protection programs, similar to the one we had in the spring, $300 a week boost to unemployment insurance, and $45 billion for transportation and infrastructure. Now, while the bipartisan panel is pushing a $900 billion plan, that is too expensive for many Senate Republicans and not expensive enough for many House Democrats. So the plan is kind of like right down the middle. We have not heard from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell what he thinks of the plan, but the senators vow they will keep the Senate in session until a deal is reached. So we have Jerome Powell, the head of the U.S. federal chair, pushing for the stimulus package. Lawmakers now engaged with just a few weeks before they go on recess for the remainder of the year, and we will have to see how this plays out going into the new year with the new administration.
So on the economic data front, can we trust the weekly unemployment numbers, Andrew?
Basically, no. According to the Government Accounting Office, they're taking aim at the jobless numbers. The GAO says the Labor Department is simply undercounting those numbers. And that's because they get the numbers from the states, because the states control unemployment. People are filing with the states. However, most of the states have backlogs of weeks, some months in processing these applications. So the weekly numbers, which I have long said, by the way, are kind of more fantasy than reality. They're kind of, made up numbers. That might be going a little too far, but the GAO is basically saying the numbers are undercounting the unemployment picture. And that's an issue for the government because a lot of the policies are made off of those numbers.
Well, Mr. President loved those labor numbers, at least for the last 4 years. But let's see how we will move forward. Let's talk about a different type of numbers, which have to do with Cyber Monday, or what you call a Monster Monday. What's the numbers showing if we factor in Amazon?
Yeah, they're showing huge numbers. Amazon reporting that sales rose over 15% over last year. Discounts, however, were as much as 30% on various consumer goods. So big push on Cyber Monday. It kind of makes sense. People are being urged to stay home. You know, shopping online has always become more convenient. You get the free shipping in many cases. And so these sales have been going up for a number of years. The pandemic only lighted fuel to the fire. Small businesses are the ones suffering, however, because they're urging people to get out of their homes, walk down the block, and buy from them as well. So we've got to see where that balance comes in at.
Okay, so if I'm listing on Nasdaq right now, what will I have to do? Are there new requirements for my board of directors? What would that entail?
Yeah, this is the first time any private exchange has pushed this idea. This has been proposed in some European countries, but never in the United States. Nasdaq is pushing for board diversity on the 3,000 companies or so listed on that exchange. They filed a proposal with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The boards would have to have one woman and at least one person from an underrepresented group on that board. Now, if this passes the SEC's review process, which, could be favorable come the Biden administration to that happening, companies would have 1 year to issue a report to the Nasdaq on board diversity and what steps it will take to get to that diversity. Because there's been a long complaint that in the board's room and in the C-suite, the chief executive officer, the chief financial officer, chief marketing officer, women are greatly underrepresented.
Yes, I agree with you with the President-elect Joe Biden choosing an all-female cabinet for his communication team. Now, this evening or this afternoon, he's unveiling his economic team. Any word on these members of this cabinet and what your outlook is, Andrew?
Yeah, Biden has unveiled his economic team. We know that Janet Yellen is at the top of it as the pick for Treasury Secretary. Her deputy, however, will be Wally Ademo. He is a Nigerian immigrant. Cecilia Rouse will be the first American woman to head the Council of Economic Advisors. Jared Bernstein will be her deputy. And the most controversial pick is Neera Tanden to the Office of Management and Budget, which happens to be the largest office in the executive branch. Republicans are targeting her for some comments she has made on Twitter in the past and have vowed to block her nomination. No word yet on the other nominees as far as the Republican Senate kind of feels about them. But this is generally a moderate to liberal group of people kind of believing the Keynesian philosophy of economics led by Janet Yellen. So Joe Biden is trying to appeal to the moderates and also appeal to the more progressive part of his party. So it will be obviously we'll have to see how it shapes out. But it is of note that he's putting the economic team forward first to show where his priorities right now lie.
I agree with you. Of course, we have just about 3 more weeks or so to wait until the inauguration day, and we're all eyes on Biden. Thank you so much, Andrew. Have a great day.